Hi and welcome to the Nevada Joint Union High School District State of the Schools Address. My name is Dan Purcell. I'm the superintendent of the high school district, and I'm excited to be here today at Nevada County Media to shoot some interviews with the principals of our high schools who are making all kinds of magic happen on our campuses. There are always new things happening in our district and new things happening at our schools. New to our school board are 5 new board members. Dwayne Gansky is our president. Wendy Willoughby represents the Grass Valley area. Olivia Pritchett represents Nevada City. Ken Johnson represents South County. And Jeffrey Nelson represents kind of the Penn Valley area. And each year, I'm happy to say that we have a student board representative. So our board representative this year is Nevada Union High School student Sean Chilton. The role of the Board of Trustees is often a thankless one, but it is a critical one to our students in our classrooms. And we want to thank the time and effort that our elected officials put into this role. We have 5 high schools in the district, Bear River High School and Nevada Union High School being our 2 comprehensive and traditional high schools, Ghidotti Early College High School, which is located on the Sierra College campus, North Point Academy, which is our independent studies school on the Nevada Union campus, as well as Silver Springs Continuation High School at Park Avenue. We're excited to take a look at each of these schools, and we'll begin with our first interview of Principal Karla Aaron, principal of North Point Academy. Karla, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're not new to the district, right?
I am not. Thank you, Dan. I've been in Nevada Joint Union High School District as a school counselor and interim principal, and now as the principal of North Point Academy.
Awesome. So principal of North Point Academy, which is the independent studies school in Nevada Joint Union High School District. You're about 130 students situated on the Nevada Union campus. Tell us a little bit about what's unique about North Point Academy.
Excellent. So North Point is, as you said, the independent study, which means we have 130 students that are each doing something completely different from the other student. Our students are paced differently. Flexible, flexible, flexible is our word and what our families appreciate about our program. We have a lot of students who mix and match their program to include Sierra College or dual schedule at Nevada Union or Bear River in a career tech class. And many of our students are doing work experience. Our students are paced to do the work on their own time, so sometimes they graduate early.
Yeah.
Our first graduate is October 9th.
Awesome. And it's an alternative school, but it's not alternative in the sense that students are meeting A to G requirements, they're graduating college ready and have full access to everything beyond high school, correct?
Absolutely. So we are majority seniors, I should say, and our students have access to many things, and it is an independent studies school of choice. So students are there not because they're in trouble, because they want to be, and our students have access to A through G classes to be ready to go straight to a university or however they want to build their program.
Yeah, and I know I was formerly principal of Nevada Union High School, and several students that left Nevada Union to go to North Point Academy. I mean, one of them was professional rodeo. We've got a dancer I know in New York City right now on Broadway. I know a professional skier who skis year-round. Is that the typical North Point Academy student, or what is the typical profile of a North Point Academy student?
That's a really good question. I don't think there is a typical, except they're ready to own their own education.
Awesome.
And for that, we do have a dancer right now. We have a student who is extremely competitive with mountain biking, and we also have a dirt biker. And yes, rodeo, that student travels a lot to Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, so I like to think of North Point Academy, for me personally, as an opportunity for students to follow their passions outside of high school when those passions are going to consume more than your average student who's just playing high school sports or doing weekend competitive, even club sports. So it allows them to dive in fully to whatever their passion is outside of school.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also have had some students who are medically fragile. They might be going through something medical and their family is trying to figure out the right path for them for treatment, and that is a good space to then come to North Point.
Right. So we mentioned on Nevada Union High School campus. I know we've got this picture in front of folks now. This is kind of a typical scene outside North Point Academy in the quad there, huh? So
yes.
What are these students probably doing? I mean, they look like they're working and socializing.
Yes.
Huh?
So our students are required to come 1 hour once a week to meet with their credentialed teacher who does the full program with them. And that following week, all of their work is due. So these students are likely, that year, they were all juniors, likely working on an English 3 project.
Awesome, cool. And we've got some other photos of just students doing the things that they love to do. Anything you can tell us in particular about these students?
Yes, well I mentioned the 2 on the end. I have mentioned them already, but our student in the middle is doing an internship and she is working at a nursery.
Awesome. Very cool. And then you've got some graduates already this year.
Yes, so we do have our own graduation ceremony, which is always one of the first ones to kick off the graduation season. It is in the Don Baggett Theater. And our first graduate right there, she is graduating on October 9th, but she has already moved to Santa Barbara and is starting Santa Barbara City College.
Very cool. She looks happy as though she's leaving high school.
Very happy. She had just finished her senior project presentation.
That's outstanding. And I know one of the things I know personally that makes North Point Academy unique and very special is the staff. So what would you tell the viewers at home about the staff at North Point Academy?
Yeah, so our staff are all fully credentialed teachers. They are dedicated professionals and a lot of experience. So in there I see, when I'm looking at this picture, a former science teacher teaching lab sciences, but again, teaching all of them. We have French, we have a math specialist, and really our teachers get to know the students and families extremely well, and they become a part of that family.
Awesome. And I can attest to that these students form really, really tight relationships between the teachers and the students, and then get a chance to know them really, really in depth and get to know their families. And just a wonderful program, North Point Academy. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing as we walk away?
I think we're fortunate to be part of the district and that our students have access to all the same things as other students, including high quality school counseling. And with that, I also want to remind people it's one student, one life at a time.
Awesome. All right, so contact North Point Academy staff by visiting our website, NJUHSD.com, clicking on North Point Academy, and you can reach out to Karla directly. Thank you, Karla, for being on with us, Principal Aaron.
Thank you. I look forward to talking to anyone who wants to know more about North Point.
Great. Thank you. All right, I'm now here with Principal Kelly Rhoden from Nevada Union High School. Kelly, you're not new to the district either, are you?
No, I am not. I'm going into my 26th year in the district, actually, and I also graduated from the district.
That's
so
outstanding.
Not new to the district or the county.
Right, Bear River graduate. Longtime PE teacher at Nevada Union High School.
Yep.
And how long have you been in administration?
And then I got into administration as an assistant principal in 2013, and then took over as principal in 2016-17. So been principal going on my 8th year. It's crazy.
That's fantastic. And lots of things happening at Nevada Union. Nevada Union now 1,500 students-ish, largest comprehensive high school in the district. What would you say makes Nevada Union a unique or special place?
Right. I love Nevada Union. It's so amazing. It's one of those schools, it's the largest one in the county, so we're able to maintain a lot of the programs that were started years ago through different funding because we are so big. So we're able to offer that traditional high school feeling. So if you're looking for the games and the dances and the rallies and all that traditional high school fun, we have all of that, but that also the size allows us to continue to offer the number of course offerings that we have, being academics from honors classes to advanced classes and AP, advanced placement courses, but also the number of CTE programs, career technical education, getting students into internships and careers potentially in their future, our performing and fine arts, our dance programs, our band and choir and drama, as well as our fine arts. We offer the culinary, culinary is a great one for CTE, but we offer performing arts and then our fine arts, ceramics, drawing and painting, photography.
Right.
So the ability to offer those classes at not only a beginning level, but a high level as well, and be able to maintain because of the numbers of students we have has been awesome. So that's, I think, the difference between our high school and some of the other high schools in the area that might be a little bit smaller.
Right.
There's something for everybody.
Something for everybody. And I know I spent some time on the Nevada Union campus last week, and I was able to be in and out of classrooms. We've got some images here just from a short visit. I was up in the upper tier of the school, and I got to see an AP chemistry class. I got to see a floral design class. And then I dropped into the communication arts class where they were doing a commitment ceremony for the media team, for students committing to take on these projects, and it's all the promotional stuff and yearbook that's happening on campus. What would you say about some of the academic classes and what makes it rich? You know, we've got AP courses and lots of hands-on stuff even within the academic classrooms.
Yeah.
But What would you say about the academic atmosphere at Nevada Union?
I would say there's been a big shift. If you were a parent who had students in the district 6-7 years ago opposed to now, what you're seeing is a lot more collaboration amongst our staff, amongst our teachers. So if you go and you look at an English 1 class, or you look at a math course, or a history, science course, those teachers are really working closely together and not in isolation anymore, so that we can guarantee that all of our students are learning at those high levels at the same rate, and ready for the second level. So if you're talking English 1, those teachers have really collaborated together to determine what are the essential learning outcomes for these students, how do we move them forward so they're prepared for English 2 and English 3. The same thing happens in math and science and all of those courses. Our teachers are working really closely together to make sure that we're meeting those standards, to make sure that we're addressing the needs of our students, and then providing intervention, which we now have during the school day. For all of those students that might be needing a little extra help, a little extra work, or they were absent, we need to get them caught up.
So that's flex time, right? So
Yep.
the idea is a student is given an assessment, we see how they did, and if they don't do well on a particular skill or standard, then what happens to them after that?
So then it's an opportunity for our teachers to pull those students into what we're calling flex. So flex runs Tuesday through Friday. All students are assigned flex. So all students are selected by teachers based on assessments and based on need. So by student, by standard, by need of each of those students. And so then that way the students aren't falling behind and they can stay on track with their coursework. We know that many of our students can't stay and come before school or after school because they're tied to busing.
Right.
But now that we have the availability to provide the intentional time with their teacher to get what they need so that they can be on grade line or grade baseline, and as well as within each one of their classes, it's an opportunity for teachers to keep them on track.
Awesome. Yeah, I know I've heard from a lot of teachers who appreciate having that time built into the school day instead of asking a student to come before school, after school. So it's nice they can grab them in the moment as soon as the students need it. Nevada Union's also well known for its sports program. We have an image here of a section championship team last year. That was boys volleyball. It's something near and dear to you as well, right?
Yeah, coached volleyball at Nevada Union for years, almost 20 years, I think, and outside of doing club. But it's so exciting to see boys volleyball was not always a recognized CIF sport in Northern California, became recognized almost 15 years ago, I believe now. And our boys volleyball team often does very well. These boys play throughout the year in clubs, and this team in particular was able to come together and win that section title, which is super cool.
Seems like all the sports program are kind of picking up speed right now, coming out of COVID, getting out of that Sierra Foothill League, which was highly competitive. I know because our football program did so well in the 90s and early 2000s, we got kind of stuck in a more competitive league. What does a program like football that kind of gets flack for being like, the prize program, but what does a Friday night under the lights bring to the campus and bring to the community?
Oh, geez, it's so much energy. It's so fun to come to a Friday night football game, and always has been. It kind of went and took its little lull for a little bit, but right now, the stands are full. We've got a huge cheering section, families that are out there, parents that are out there. You'll notice we kind of block off a cheering section for our students so that you can kind of separate yourself a little bit because it can get loud. They're standing up, they're in color, they're usually picked a theme for the night and they're ready to go, as well as with the band right next to them. So we've got the band and the cheerleaders on the sideline, and it is a busy night. There are people all over that place. It's super fun.
And I'd say people probably underestimate, in my experience, what a winning football program actually does to the culture of a campus. So what's the difference on a Monday morning after a big win at home versus taking a beating and losing a game at home?
The energy is definitely different. I mean, we just have an away game. We had an away game just this week, and we took the win against Lincoln, and the energy even this morning, and the football players walking on campus, the cheerleaders, but also some of the kids that were there or listened to it on the radio, the energies, the feels just a little bit different. They're excited. It's one of those those activities that everyone goes to.
Right. I'd say a winning football program does a lot for the culture
Yes,
and
it
climate of
does.
the campus. As much as people maybe don't want to admit to that, definitely when you're winning, it helps
Definitely,
the campus.
definitely.
We have some other images of students, and these were also just captured within 1 hour. So
Right.
going from a welding classroom up in the ag program down to a fine arts program where there's drawing and painting happening and ceramics. You mentioned how rich and robust the program is. It probably can't be understated, but there's kind of a niche for every student, right? Is that the idea?
Right. Whether it be in the classroom with some of these different course offerings that we see, it's super fun to walk around and see all the different activities that kids can get involved with. Course offerings like, you walk into a ceramics class and you've got intermediate to advanced, but when you walk even into those intermediate classes and they're using the wheels and they're practicing how to spin some clay on that wheel, it's pretty fun to see what's going on. But then you go to those more advanced classes where we have beginning culinary classes that lead to those advanced courses, and they're running a minor diner where families can pop in and get coffee in the morning. Our staff is there to get coffee all throughout the whole day served by students. It's really fun to see the different levels. In auto shop, in sports medicine, we have students out at the hospital doing internships. They start at that beginning level, get the baseline, and then you can go into those classrooms and listen to those advanced kids and their experiences that they're receiving in the hospitals as interns, or working on the fields for our sport teams.
Right. I'd say pretty special, that minor diner. I think the district sunk about almost $5 million into the new culinary program. I know I went in last week, had a double latte made for me, oat milk latte, and got a wrap that was like turkey and bacon. It was fantastic for a pretty low cost actually for staff. So it's cool. They're raising money, but they're doing a quality job. There is a great energy on campus. I know you guys are doing something out in front of the library overlooking the football field on Wednesdays. Tell us about this. This is Lawn Chair Wednesday.
We do Lawn Chair Wednesdays where we invite our staff to bring a chair. We're usually on Wednesdays dressed up. We have our whole school of staff broken into blue and gold teams. We're in a little staff competition because we've got class competitions. We wanted to get involved in that. So on Wednesdays, you'll see our staff up outside the library just enjoying time together, sitting in chairs. We put up canopies. Everyone's in blue and gold. Often you'll see students sitting with us because it's just fun and we bring our lunch. The last Wednesday of every month, administration cooks grilled cheese sandwiches. They've been a big hit. So everyone joins us on those days for sure. Get a grilled cheese and just hang out with your peers and celebrate school, but just to connect and to connect with the kids. The kids love hanging with us. We love hanging with them, but it's really important for our staff to connect. There's so many staff members between, our classified and our certificated, which is our teachers, and getting them all together in one place has been really fun.
Yeah, last count was about 175 staff members on campus. I do know they love getting together on a nice day and doing the grilled cheese. And it's not a bad grilled cheese. It's Truckee sourdough and it's real
good.
cheese.
It's
And
good
you
stuff.
got Luke Browning, assistant principal on the grill, which is great. So I guess lastly, Kelly, what would you say any prospective families or people considering coming to Nevada Union? I know there's been reluctance from some families whose students are coming from smaller schools. What advice would you have to the parent or guardian that's trying to make a decision about high school?
Well, what I could say about Nevada Union, it feels really big to those families coming from some of those smaller schools. But there's so many different things for kids to get involved with. Our biggest push, and you hear it all the time, I'm sure, get involved. If your students are involved, be it in drama or band or choir or dance or any of our different programs, our career technical education programs, our ag programs, it's a great way for students to feel connected, but it also makes the campus a little bit smaller for them because they're connected in certain groups. We also offer a ton of clubs. We just had our Club Rush, so trying to encourage our students to be involved in different ways. Clubs would be another great way to get involved. And there's always opportunities for students to start their own clubs. They just need to seek out an advisor and they can start their own clubs on campus, working with our activities team. It really kind of reduces the size of our campus when kids are connected. We know that the success of our students is always connected, first and foremost, to attendance, be here every day, be there to be in the classrooms and get the work that you need. That's a first indicator of success, but also that connection to your peers, connection to your teachers, and connection to those programs. So as soon as you find that little niche, and there's a lot of opportunity to search for it, those kids really feel a part of the big picture.
Yeah, and I know you can see it walking into any, the band director's classroom at lunchtime, the drama director's classroom, Jamie Weiss and the sports medicine kids, or even the English classes, or whomever happens to be the snowboarding coach. You're going to see kind of that group of students surrounding that teacher and finding their space as a small group. So that's great advice. I agree with it wholeheartedly.
And I would also say, feel free. Jump on campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think you started this as a principal when you were working at Nevada Union, but we do walks with the principal at lunch. So we do principal tours. I meet with families all the time that just want to get on campus and see what is it all about. Typically try and get them out there at lunch because that's when you see the most students at one time. But you get to see those pockets and what's going on with our kids. It's really a great tour to kind of get a sense of what it feels like on campus. If you do those tours and your students are interested in coming, that's an opportunity for them to come too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lastly, I know the goal of high school is to graduate and get out. And I know I've been a part of a lot of graduation ceremonies, as have you. We've got a couple images of just what it looks like up on stage. What would you say about graduation day for you as a principal?
For me as a principal, it's super emotional. I will say that. I always try to kind of hold back the emotion, but it's just a beautiful day. It's full of just energy, excitement. Families are all there to support every one of those students. And it usually tends to be, though we've had a little raindrops here and there at times, it's a beautiful day. And the energy in the stands, the audience, there's thousands of people there to support our students, to support our school and community. So it's a beautiful ceremony every year. I get really excited.
Yeah. In our culture, really, that high school graduation is like the marquee moment of passing into adulthood, right? So that is that moment, and you get to be a part of it just about every year. Pretty special day.
It's really fun. Yeah, it's
awesome.
A great day.
All right, well, I want to thank Principal Kelly Rhoden for being on with us. Great showcase of Nevada Union High School. If you want to check out the high school, go to the website. You can go to www.numiners.com. Take Principal Rhoden up on a tour. Go walk the campus at lunchtime and see what a day in the life of a Nevada Union student is. I can tell you it's great energy and it's a lot of fun. And Mr. Rhoden, you're doing a great job. So
thank you so much.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Principal Stacy Clement from Ghidotti Early College High School. Stacy, you're one of our newest administrators to the team, so tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been at Ghidotti High School?
Well, October marks my 1 year mark as the principal at Ghidotti Early College High School. I grew up in the area, grew up in Auburn, and I'm a Sierra College grad myself, and then went to Sac State. And then I've been in teaching for my entire career and absolutely love it.
Awesome. Well, welcome. We're happy to have you. You've been a great addition to the team. Ghidotti Early College High School is located on the Sierra College campus. It's unique in that it's an early college program. What does it mean to be an early college high school?
Well, an early college high school is a very scripted program where students get to take high school classes and college classes simultaneously throughout all 4 years of high school. So they have an opportunity to earn a associate's degree while at Sierra College, but we really try to tailor the college classes that they take to their ultimate career goals. So sometimes an AA isn't the best use of their time. But for instance, we only offer English 1 and 2 at the high school level, but junior and senior English is all taken through the college. All of their foreign language is taken through the college and all of their electives. So it gives students a great opportunity to get a jump start on their college classes.
Awesome. So students are taking high school and college classes. So a sophomore may have 2 or 3 classes that are with a high school teacher, and they may have 2 to 3 or 4 classes that are with a Sierra College teacher, correct?
Exactly. Our typical sophomore will take English with us through the high school and a math through us. Then they'll probably take their foreign language and their physics through the college.
Awesome. So the goal being students get exposure to college courses, they get a college transcript that they're working on, and then ultimately what is the mission of Ghidotti High School?
So our mission and the vision of our school is to help students that have barriers to college. So we're not looking for anyone that has any excelled skills. Really, you just have to be ready to apply. You just have to be ready for English 9 and Algebra 1. And if you're ready for the high school rigor, then you're ready for Ghidotti.
Right. Yeah, and that's a bit of a misnomer because I'll brag a little bit. At one point, we had a 3-year streak where Ghidotti High School had the highest state test scores in the state, and so people thought that it was for the advanced student, correct? But it's not.
And that's my personal mission as the principal of Ghidotti, is to help change that perception in the community. We're here for people like me. So I'm a first generation college graduate in my family. I'm the oldest, and so while I had great parents that provided for our family, when it was time for me to go to college, there was nothing extra to help pay. And so I had to figure out my own way, how to sign up for college classes, how to get those credits to transfer to Sac State. So we take students and we help them and nurture them through that process, so that as freshmen they learn how to work with college professors and office hours and communicate and work with the college admissions office, so that by the time they've graduated from us, not only do they have college credits already on their college transcript, but they have skills that they need to be successful on those college campuses.
Yeah, I'd say real life practical skills like not having bells and understanding how to get to class on time and knowing how to use their time wisely if their class only meets twice a week. So tell us a little bit about the campus. We have some images up of the pond and then your typical classrooms and kind of library setting. What's the day in the life of a Ghidotti student?
So because we're located on the college campus, they have access to all of the facilities. We have the beautiful picture of the library there. It's recently been renovated. And if you look closely, you can see the tutors there. So they have full-time access to the college tutors. And many of our students actually, by their junior or senior year, that's they take that on as a job, as to be a college tutor. You can see we have the beautiful biology department and classroom and just the campus itself that the students get to hang out and be around.
What a neat experience to be a 17-year-old student who's being paid to provide tutoring services and helping adults that are trying to get through an Algebra 2 class or a statistics class, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And our students love it, and they're well respected on the campus.
Very cool. And I know your teachers do an outstanding job, very cutting edge and very kind of up to speed on all the latest and greatest instructional practices. So you talked a little bit about, what did you call it, a moving lab or elements in motion? Is that the image we saw of the DNA strand? Or? Yeah,
so this is the picture here is from a biology class, and they started off with small groups. As a principal, I love being in the classroom, and this was a lesson I got to watch. So they started off in small groups making their own molecules, and then they discovered and got into groups of 4 and 6 and 8, and then made a whole classroom-wide molecule model. Made a whole classroom-wide molecule model.
Say that 3 times fast.
But the great thing about Ghidotti is that our teachers are very interactive in their teaching, and it's very project-based. So some of the other projects we're showing here is our U.S. history class did a pop-up museum where it was an interactive, they had to create an interactive project, and we actually opened that up to the community and parents to come in and see our students' work. Or we've got world history there, and they had to make a board game, educational board game.
Very cool. And Ghidotti High School used to have an inter-school sports agreement, multi-school sports agreement with Nevada Union, so Ghidotti students could play on Nevada Union sports team. That was severed in, I think, 2013, but we pivoted and we joined a partnership with SAIL, and now there's an athletics program at Ghidotti, correct?
Yeah, we're our second year in CIF, and we are Division 6. We offer boys and girls soccer, boys and girls basketball, and boys and girls volleyball, and we'd love to bring other sports on. We're just looking for some coaches.
Outstanding. We got some great image. I know they've been competitive in their league, the Fire Wolves, and I know they're having a lot of fun. Shout out to Athletic Director Ty Smith, who's doing a good job with the program.
Absolutely.
And Ghidotti, I know you and your staff make every effort to give students access, right? And so annual field trips, multiple field trips to various college campuses, and getting students out to see the world. We have some images of this looks like a trip to San Francisco, obviously with the Golden Gate Bridge, unless they're in Portugal. So what are some of the field trips that are happening this year?
So we make sure that each grade level, freshman through junior, get 2 college field trips a year. So here we are with our junior class, and they were visiting a college in San Francisco. We really want to create the comprehensive high school experience for students. So we offer dances, we have a leadership class, we have a Nurturing Every Student Together mentorship program so that all students feel welcome. And we try to have a lot of fun. You know, you work hard and you play hard.
Absolutely, and it's a really tight-knit group, the Ghidotians, 160 students on campus, about 30 to 40 graduates a year. I know I've been a part of their graduation ceremony a number of times, and I think it's pretty special. You've got teachers who speak personally about every single student before giving their diploma. I'd say that's something that's unique compared to your experience in comprehensive schools as well, correct?
Yes, having that small family feel, and it really is a family feel. You have each teacher 2 to 3 times, and you really get to know them personally and individually. And our graduations are a very special experience.
Yeah, and also special students who graduate from Ghidotti, oftentimes, on average, 10 to 12 of them are earning AA degrees at the same time, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say high 80s to 90% go straight to a 4-year.
Very cool. So high-performing school, very successful school, and it sounds like, I know I've talked to you off camera, you're enjoying your experience as principal.
Oh, absolutely love it. They're great students. It's a great staff. It's a great place to be.
Good. Well, lots of folks knocking down the door at Ghidotti High School. If your student is interested, go to the website, www.NJUHSD.com, click on Ghidotti High School for information about how to enroll and how to apply. Well, I want to thank you, Stacy, for being on today. You did an outstanding job, and go Ghidotti.
Go Ghidotti.
All right, I'm here with Principal Marty Mathiesen, principal of Silver Springs High School, located right on Park Avenue. Silver Springs are a continuation high school in the district, and Marty, you're not new to education, not new to administration. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
No, I'm not, Dan. Yeah, thanks. This is year 37 for me, and 29 as a school administrator. I started out as an English teacher and coached 3 sports for the first 8 years of my career over in Colusa and Orland. Then I went over to Humboldt County, where I took my first administrative job in 1995 as a vice principal, and then went to principal and assistant superintendent before coming over to Nevada Union as principal in 2004. And then in 2011, I took over my favorite job, and I loved them all. But my favorite job is at Silver Springs principal since 2011. This is my 13th year.
Awesome. And Silver Springs is a continuation high school, 165 students. But I'd say it's pretty unique as a continuation high school. And you can speak to what are some of those things that make Silver Springs different than your regular continuation high school?
Well, Dan, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I think we are unique in many ways, and we do a lot of focus that's just unconventional for continuation schools in the way of extracurricular. So we probably run, middle of the road would be 35 field trips a year. If you include some of our athletics, it's even more. But it's really about re-engaging kids and feeling comfortable to school. Most of them, Dan, have had difficult parts in their life that moved them away from school, made it difficult, and so we really strive on making kids feel comfortable and building a culture where kids are re-engaged.
Yeah, you talked to me about academic first aid. So these kids have taken some lumps throughout their tenure leading up to their high school years. And I know your staff does that. I know you do that. And you talked about your field trips. That's really a re-engagement tool. So these students where are you taking them and what are they getting out of it?
Well, we started off kind of small. I had some connections with a lot of sports teams through my experiences prior to being an educator. And so the Giants and the A's, we had some connections that we could get kids to games and experience getting down to the city and the Giants game and experience that kind of, it's just an experience getting down to the city. A lot of our kids
exposure,
down to the county. Yeah, exposure is the word I was looking for, Dan. Thank you. And then it grew from there, and I thought, well, why stop with that? And so for years, when I was at Nevada Union, the ski team exposed me to skiing, downhill skiing, and I just thought, this is the greatest. I got my family going, and I realized how expensive it is and difficult, and that's a real barrier for our kids to experience that. So for years I worked and finally got to what used to be Squaw Valley, now Palisades, to help our kids out. And so we get them on the hill numerous times, up to maybe a dozen times a year, to teach them how to snowboard and ski, and to just build self-esteem and good experience with their peers as well as with us.
And anyone that's been up there knows it's an expensive sport. So these kids are going free equipment rental, free lift tickets, free lessons, and in some case going multiple times. So they're actually developing some skill up there, huh?
$500 a day, with lessons on the house, lunch at the Olympic House. Oftentimes, the kids have been given gear at the end of the year. They're just so nice to us and so caring, and they really appreciate and see what we do.
Yeah. So the staff at Silver Springs is an all-star staff, and couple of the reasons why is right now there's a focus on social emotional learning, right? Kind of taking care of the whole child and their ability to integrate socially and take care of their own emotions. And then you talk about trauma-informed instruction as well. What does that trauma-informed approach look like as your staff works with these students?
It's mainly an understanding that where our kids have come from, and most of the behaviors, which a lot of it is sometimes the behaviors at school have gotten them there. They've had disciplinary matters, and along with attendance and falling behind. But having the understanding that it's not really a personal issue. When kids act out, there's usually a connection with that and an ability to understand. And the ability from understanding comes from building relationships. So not only am I Dan Purcell's principal, but I know Dan Purcell as a person. I know your background, I know your interests. It's a way of approaching kids, talking with kids and listening with kids.
Yeah, I could speak to that too. I think whenever I'm on campus, you're calling every student by name. Right. The students really trust your staff and have go-to people on campus. I can tell you firsthand, my firsthand experience is that your staff does an awesome job connecting to kids, and we all have trauma we've experienced, and different folks handle it different ways, and certainly students as well as adults bring that with them everywhere they go. So your students are no exception. Hats off to your staff for doing an amazing job of meeting them where they are, and then their goal is to repair them academically, right? So then,
it's been a different approach. Once we build the relationships with the kids and we build trust, and there's a big emphasis on the trust and the character, and then the self-esteem comes, and the academics come pretty quickly because these kids are sharp kids. It's just been a disconnect with the academia, and the other things have become priorities, and a lot of times it's just eating and finding a place to live, some of the difficult things they've gone through emotionally, and the rest. So when we reattach and they have an adult they can trust, and we go take trips together and we spend time together, then everything kind of comes into order, and the academics actually accelerate once we get to that point. Well, we just know that we can't try to push academics first. We get to the whole person first, build a self-esteem and build relationships.
And that trust is a big deal, especially with some of the clientele who's coming with not having had relationships with adults in a school setting where they can trust people. We've got a few slides up here. What can you tell us about a couple of the images we're looking at right now?
A couple favorites right there. So looking on the left, that is our normal tailgate at the Oakland A's game, which we do a couple times a year. At least, and then on the right-hand side is an exceptional trip where we've connected with the San Francisco Yacht Club, and that's one of our kids steering the boat. They run the sails. We go out around Alcatraz over to Tiburon and out underneath the bridge out to sea, and we've seen it was last week, Dan, that we went on Tuesday, that we saw schools of porpoises and whales, and the kids learn how to, they understand what sailing's all about.
Awesome. And who's working the grill there? We got Randy Fields, I recognize.
Randy Fields and Zach LaFerriere was our school resource officer. So that's another big part that's a great advantage. Our school resource officers, we've been fortunate to get the right people, Dan, and they build a relationship with kids too. So kids have a positive perception of law enforcement.
Yeah. Cool. And speaking of, I caught this image just last week of your new school resource officer, and you got a young lady who suffered a knee injury. Yep. So not only is he there to keep students and staff safe as a officer for the Grass Valley Police Department, but looks like he's a pretty good escort too, huh?
He's a good escort too. He's a great guy. Like I said, we've been fortunate. So he understands the relationship piece, and that it's a transition from kids who come in and normally look at law enforcement and say, what's wrong, and what are they here, and have a negative experiences, at least in their minds. to someone to go, oh, good, he's here, we're safe, and he's our friend. Yeah.
Yeah, I see him interacting with students, shaking
Yep.
hands, and obviously helping this young lady get around. And that's your cast of all-star staff there. That's graduation. I've had the pleasure of experiencing a handful of those. Tell me a little bit about the feel of graduation at Silver Springs High School.
Well, like I said, I've been 37 years, so I've seen a lot of graduations, and I say this is the most heartfelt. These kids came in here not even thinking about graduation. I can remember years back, 13 years ago, when we said, oh, the kids are actually talking about graduation. They actually feel like they can graduate, and that was not the case before. And so now, when these kids do walk the stage, it's more than just the child. It's a whole family. It's a family, and it's a community event to see how much caring, concern, and the relationship piece that's involved in that. And I know you've seen it because you've been with us all the years that I've been there. So.
Yeah, I agree, and it is something you can feel between the staff and the families, the administration and the students. Such a special graduation ceremony every year at Silver Springs. People are so happy to see those kids get across the stage, and families are hooting and hollering, and
it means a lot to them. Yeah, it's like I said, they didn't expect it to happen, but it is all about the heart. The heart comes first, and these kids they come back for years later just to come and visit, and those relationships sustain.
Yeah, agreed. Well, all right. Well, that's it for Silver Springs High School. I want to thank Principal Mathiesen for being here today.
Thanks, Dan.
If you're interested in learning more about the school, you can access Silver Springs High School by going to the website, www.NJUHSD.com. Drop down to Silver Springs and learn all about Silver Springs High School and the Panthers over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mathiesen.
Enjoyed it, Dan.
All right. All right, so welcome Chris Roberts, principal of Bear River High School. Bear River is our smaller comprehensive high school down on the southern part of the county, down there at 49 and Combi Road. And Chris, this is what, 5th year principal?
Yeah, actually it'll be 5th year, 5 years in November.
5 years in November as principal of Bear River High School. Where'd you come from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Grew up in Loomis, right here in beautiful Northern California. And attended Del Oro High School. Graduated from Del Oro in 1991. I know I'm dating myself a little bit, but graduated from Del Oro High School in 1991. Attended Sac State University and got my credential in Spanish and taught Spanish at Granite Bay High School for 12 years.
Fantastico.
Yeah, enjoyed every minute of it. Coached a little bit there as well. I was a varsity girls soccer coach, JV boys soccer coach. And left the school with a section championship right before I left, which was awesome. And started my administrative career at Lyman Gilmore Middle School. I was at Lyman Gilmore for almost 7.5 years, and I was assistant principal there, and then became principal after 2 years.
Awesome. Now you're at Bear River Bruin,
Yes.
Close to home. We say small school, 635 students right now, but also a comprehensive high school. So all the bells and whistles of any traditional high school. Talk to us about everything that happens at Bear River.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes us kind of unique is that typically with a small school, you give up some of those big school perks, right? Of, some of those extracurricular activities that you might see at a big school, AP courses, elective classes. But at Bear River, and this is obviously with help from the district office, we're able to have some of those bigger school classes and extracurricular activities, but be a small school at the same time.
Yeah, awesome. So all the performing arts, the fine arts, sports programs, and I'd say, the best of both worlds, right? You're big enough to offer a variety of different programs, but small enough that I would say there's not a student on campus that you probably don't know.
Yeah, it's very rare that we don't know a student. In fact, that's one of the things we take pride in, is when the student comes into the office, we're able to identify them by their name. And I also feel like that's something that draws families and draws students to the school.
Mm-hmm. And Bear River is on the map, so to speak. Section titles in football, a few in recent years. Last year won the state championship for ag mechanics through the FFA program. We went through a lull there with COVID, but talk to me a little bit about what it feels like to be on the football field under the Friday night lights. And we've got an image up here of Bear River football players. What could you tell us about Friday nights at Bear River High School?
There's something special about Friday night football games before I even came to Bear River. Growing up in Loomis, Del Oro football is a big part of Loomis. It's a big part of Del Oro High School. So I had a little bit of background But that was in the stands, and standing on the sidelines at a football game, looking back at the community that's supporting our school, looking back at the community that's supporting our football program, it's amazing. This last a couple of weeks ago, actually, Friday night, we had a home football game. Lost the game, but you wouldn't have known it just by the attitude of the community that's there, the students that are there. The football program is thriving right now with the increase of students that we've received. So it's been really fun to be a part of that. In fact, in my first year that I was there, we went to a section championship game, and to be a part of that program has been incredible. But there's something special about a Friday night under the lights with the football program and with that community surrounding and really supporting you.
Yeah, it truly is a community experience. I mean, I've been to a number of those games, and you've got the football team that's got blood, sweat, and tears every day of the week up and down. And then you've got the cheerleaders there. You've got the ag program that's cranking out burgers. You've got all the fanfare, all the staff there working the gate. It must be something special as a principal to walk around and enjoy.
It is. And you mentioned all of those different programs that are represented at the football games. It's very rare that a student doesn't attend a football game on a Friday night because they're so involved with so many different things.
Right, awesome. And that's athletics. We talk about academics. Bear River is a high-performing school, definitely up there in the 80th, 90th percentile in terms of state scores. And I know as someone who is a principal of a larger high school, what I admire, or what I guess envy of the staff at Bear River is you're small enough that you can get an initiative off the ground and get rolling with it almost right away. Talk to me a little bit about how the staff works together to provide a high level of academics to the student body.
You know, I think that's one of the best things about being the principal at Bear River is just working with the staff that we have. They're one of those roll up your sleeve, get it done kind of groups. And it's interesting, no matter who we bring on, the staff and the culture at Bear River kind of envelops those individuals that are new, and they roll right into what the culture is at Bear River. And it's, we have a task, we need to get something done, and the Bear River staff gets it done. And it's not just done with, oh, I've got to do this or I have to do that. It's done with an incredible attitude of, we're doing this for kids, we put kids first, and when you put kids first, great things happen.
Yeah, that's been my observations as well. I think you've got a great staff. I think the students who attend Bear River are very fortunate. People don't slide through the cracks. Talk to me a little bit about, you've got a strong intervention program, you've got flex time now, you've got an intervention specialist who's been around the block, who does an amazing job. What's the support network like for a student at Bear River who may be struggling socially or academically?
Yeah, and I think that you mentioned not slipping through the cracks, and I think that's a big part of that is even those that are struggling, again, that's a small school environment. It allows us to know the kids, know their needs, whether that be academic, social, emotional. I think that's a big draw. But you know, not allowing those kids to slip through the cracks academically, flex time gives us an opportunity to meet with those students and meet them where they are. You know, students who might be struggling academically in one class, a teacher can identify who those students are through assessment, results and data, and really identify what their needs are, where their needs are, and hit that head on. And it's timely too. It's like kids, you know, might take a test on a Friday, Tuesday morning, they're with that teacher in a flex period, getting that assistance and help that they need on specific areas. You know, you think of an assessment, assessments are big. They may be able to hone in on specific items within that assessment that they need support in, and they're able to provide that for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know we mentioned all the extracurriculars. Athletics is a big support system in and of itself. I'll describe it as an intervention program in itself. And there's so many students at Bear River who not only participate in whether it's performance-based activities like dance or choir or like dance or choir or band or the theater program, but also athletics. And a lot of students play more than one sport.
Yeah, in fact, I don't think I've ever been to a school where so many students have played multiple sports throughout multiple seasons. And in fact, it's very rare to find a kid that doesn't play 2 or 3 sports. I think of my own kids. In fact, my son Tanner, who attended the school, graduated a couple years ago, played soccer almost his entire life, decided his sophomore year, Dad, I'm kind of done with soccer. I'd like to try something new. I'd like to try basketball. and was able to jump onto a basketball team and play for another sport that he had never played before. Again, the lure of the small school, being able to try things that you've never done before. And I think that gives kids a little more motivation, maybe a little more courage to try something that they haven't done before.
Yeah, and it's a safe space. It's got that Bear River community feel, and it is a tight-knit family.
Absolutely.
Before we go on, I know this isn't a live recording, but today is October 2nd, and in a couple days we're going to recognize the Teacher of the Year for the high school district, Miss Jessica Lee. We've got a great photo of her with some of our graduates from last year. What would you tell us about Mrs. Lee and her deservingness of this award?
You know, it's tough to find a teacher that you feel stands out amongst such incredible educators. It's like identifying your favorite child, right? Sorry, Jessica, you're my child. But, Jessica is extremely well-deserving. It's hardworking. It's hard to be the activities director, number one. A lot of mornings, early mornings, late nights, dedicated to supporting your students, providing a program, and not only a program, but really a school culture. When you're an activities director, what you do, it almost envelops the entire campus and really has an effect on every student, every staff member on that campus. So what a huge responsibility. And Jessica slipped right into that position very quickly, and did a fantastic job. Very early on, had the support of the staff because they respected her. They saw how hard she worked, and immediately had the respect of the students and parents too, because they saw those same things and those same qualities in her.
Yeah, she's doing a great job getting students involved, and what a great feel, what a great culture you have down at Bear River. Last but not least, I did mention the Ag Mechanics program, taking the state championship, competing with big schools. You mentioned a four-letter word, Del Oro, a couple times, but there are schools of that size that they're up competing against, and this is a second time they've had this honor in at least the last 6 years. So why is it so special? Why do we have such a good Ag Mechanics program down there?
You know, I think our CTE programs in general are solid, and Ag Mechanics and our Ag program is no exception to that. But our Ag Mechanics, we have a brand new shop. It was refurbished and added some wonderful equipment in it recently. Measure
B, thank you, community members.
Thank you, community. But yeah, having an incredible shop with incredible educators to provide that support and the instruction within that shop. But you also have a community that is based in ag mechanics and agriculture in general. You think about our fair that happens every year. Just a representation at the fair in general of our ag mechanics and our ag sciences and our ag animal programs. It's pretty incredible. Our FFA program, incredible. So I think all of that culture and all of that, the community that drives that really provides the means and the ability to have a successful ag mechanics program. And you got the kids, and our kids that are representing this year are fantastic.
Yeah, and you said community, and I know it's a school community. It's a community of in that area, South County, between LOP as well as all the outlying area. There are options for those families down there, and we've had a track record over the past decade or so of students leaving the district, heading down south into Placer County schools. What would you tell the audience if there's any families out there that have 8th graders that are incoming 9th graders or even attending school out of the county? Why should they come your way to Bear River?
You know, honestly, I think there's this opinion that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. And I think there's some familiarity, especially with those that live in the community. Oh, that's Bear River High School, and maybe there's something better that's down the hill, and maybe we can go somewhere else. The reality is that you have a gem right here, right under your feet. And my advice would be explore that and give us a shot, give us a chance, because I think as you're going to see, you're going to be very surprised in what you see. Again, small school with all of the amenities of a large school, the extracurriculars, the academics. You have a gym right here. You don't need to go down the hill, and with the price of gas right now, why would you want to spend any more money?
And such a beautiful school, Bear River High School. I know we spoke a little bit about the uniqueness and how special the staff is there. We've got an image up for folks of tell us what's going on here. This looks like staff. Is it a pool party, or what do you got going on there?
This is another Jessica Lee Teacher of the Year idea, and it's basically it's jumping into the pool as we jump into the new school year. But as you can see, this is at our last staff development day before the school year starts. and you have a happy staff who's excited about greeting students on the first day, and they're ready to jump in, and it's jump in 100%. And that's the deep end of the pool too, so we're ready to jump into the deep end.
Jumping into the deep end, I love it. All right, well, thank you, Mr. Roberts. We appreciate having you on. Appreciate hearing about all things Bear River High School. If you're interested in more information about Bear River High School, please visit our website, www.njuhsd.com. Drop down, check out Bear River High School. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in and listening about all things NJUHSD. I hope you enjoyed hearing from our principals. Please reach out anytime, visit our website for more information, email me if you'd like a tour of a campus, and we'll see you next time.